everybody. It's JB from rocknews.co.uk. This evening, I am joined by a new, fairly local to where I live, band called Close Ties. They rock. They're amazing. I'm not going to lie. Just listen to their new tune. But anyway, we'll get to that in a bit. Firstly, I wanted to introduce. So we have a frontman here, which is Adi.
Hi.
We have one of the two lead guitars.
Greetings.
And we have the all-important bass player wearing a very, very cool top, Ben.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah, I was there too. Anyway, right, so now lads, so it's a bit unusual this one because you're a band which I already knew a member of. Nothing to do with music, incidentally, just happened to know. And I saw that he had put out a song, or you guys had. I heard it. I'm not going to lie to you, I had to keep checking that that was the correct song. I was blown away. And no offense, by the way, Adi, you're a sound geek, but the production on it, I mean, I don't know who, you know, it's polished. It's a force of a sound. It's really, really good. It sounds like a band that's been, it's tight. It sounds like the most experienced together band you'll hear. And I really do mean that. It's amazing. However, it's your first song.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all downhill from Indians, isn't it?
Here I'm going here. I mean, please explain. How did you guys come to be together? Close Ties? Is there a clue in the name?
Take this one. You start the process off, really.
Well, we've all been in and out of bands over the years. It's just one of those things where I took a step back from music for a long time, kept trying to start stuff with various people. Nothing ever came to pass. And then I just sort of said, oh, you know what, screw it. Posted on my own Facebook, just like, anyone, any capacity, want to do something musical, hit me up. It needs to be big, it needs to be, you know, furious. Let's do it. Liam then just piped up, like, in any capacity, 100% let's do it. I'm pretty sure that's like word for word of your message that you sent. It's like,
yeah, I think
any capacity, let's do this. And I think we originally started out was like, let's try something relatively pop punky, and then we all just started talking and just like, it just ended up being progressing towards heavier music. When we first met up though, you brought Ginger along as a surprise. Just like, I got a surprise here. I was like, all right, who's this? And I thought, bloody hell, I've not seen him since school. So yeah, I've always known Ginger for a very, very long time. But yeah, that's just how it happened, isn't it? It's just, that's how it came to be a thing. And then you just came along naturally because you're like best mates with Ginger and Liam. So
there was no intention for like it to evolve into what it has.
No, not at all.
But it has, and
yeah,
I think we're quite happy with the fact.
Yeah, we all met up before we started doing anything musical and just said, right, let's think about this logically. Let's write a list each of what our favourite bands are and what we really want to do. And then we made like a big compilation, like a big list of bands that we were like, let's try and work towards a sound that is like this. Mm-hmm. And we all just kind of went away, listened to them, we all come back with the same mindset. We always end up having the same common goal that we want to work towards. And it's like, I love this bit in this song. And then we'd be like, yeah, me too. And they'd be like, oh yeah. We'd just be like this back and forth. And then we just writing, and it was just, yeah, natural as hell.
And so there wasn't a writer.
So to be honest, we all take stock of different things. We're all good at very different things. AD, probably out of a lot of us, has had the most experience in the music scene, sort of live music. And you know, he's pretty good at. He's good at just coming out with things that, you know, on the spot. I'm very much the person that has to go away, sit, think about it, analyse it, throw it away, start again.
This is where we all work together, though.
Yeah. So Ben and me, we grew up pretty much together from 14, 15, something ridiculous like that. So we've been playing music together for years. So we'd lock ourselves up in a room for a few chords down, whatever, and it just evolve into something, bring it back to the table. But certainly with Divide that's released and sort of some of our working titles, one of which will be released very shortly, we pretty much all had a big part to play in it.
Yeah, for sure.
So reflects in how tight it all sounds. The fact that you've had that thing for a long time, you can hear it. But so Close Ties. What's the
name? Where'd the name come from?
Yeah.
We were throwing names as like every band does back and forth. It was like, no, that sounds too metal. No, that sounds too. I'm not sure what I can say, but it's just not right. You know,
things
what I mean?
just didn't have meaning.
And yeah, I was just not where I'm working currently, where I originally met James. But before that, I had an office manager who was just rambling on, making a sales pitch, and he was talking about the two companies that we work with. And he goes, you know what, we have such close ties, that's why we work so well together. And it was just like ding, and we was throwing names back and forth, and you actually said, first and foremost, AD, if we're doing a band, it's got to be with friends. It's got to be with people we can rely on, that we're going to work well with. It's great getting musicians that are good, but if you don't work well as a friendship, it's just not going to work longevity wise.
Yeah.
And then when I heard this band name, that Close Ties, I was like, holy shit, that's it. I hope we can start, James.
Listen. It's fine. It's fine.
I brought the band name in and just said, what do you guys think of Close Ties? I was like, it goes with what you said you wanted for the band members. We threw it back and forth, and it just kind of fits the style of that kind of metalcore style that we've somehow created. And it wouldn't be out of place on a gig list. You know what I mean? Like who's playing?
It's a good name. It's a good name.
We've got we've had some people say that it's not for us and it doesn't suit us, but then it's been completely out. It's completely been swept underneath the rug. You know what I mean? It's like by people just going, I love the name, the logo's awesome, the font, it suits the style.
We've done so much that we can ourselves, and actually, we came up with the name ourselves. We've written the music ourselves. We've recorded demos and stuff ourselves. It's only in the final production we've gone to see somebody, but it just fits.
Yeah, absolutely. So, have you? And this is another slightly unusual scenario. So you're a 5-piece, but have you got the 5th piece yet?
We are currently in talks with somebody who is set to step in. We're just basically going through a bit of a audition / get to know you kind of process. As AD sort of touched on, it's really important that we are friends first and foremost.
He's an old friend of mine from about 10 years ago, and he's just one of the nicest guys ever. So I'm really pushing for him to join us.
So I mean, I happen to know AD. Of course, you are quite an established drummer. So I just wondered if you might consider going down the whole Phil Collins route and doing the singing and the drumming.
I want to do the whole frontman thing again. I just love that element as well. I mean, my old band was a ska band, as you may know anyways. And going from that to something that's as heavy as this, I mean, I want nothing more to be that crowd interaction, crowd surfing, going mental, climbing up stuff, jumping off.
Just
putting it out. My energy flow, you know what I mean, on stage. But yeah, that's. But I mean, I did the drums on Divide. I'm going to do them on this next song that we're due to release relatively soon. We need to touch on that for sure.
That's about to say that is coming up. Don't worry.
It's going to be a big one, trust. But yeah, that's just going to do that on this next one. But ultimately, I want to be the front man and get a solid drummer behind us as well, because drums hold it all together at the end of the day. So you need someone who's good behind the cans, innit? So yeah.
So now, before we move on from your current single, Divide. Now, Divide is it is just like a force of nature. It's so energetic. There's a ton of emotion in it. I mean, it's really got that feel to it. It you know, from the lyrics, it's saying about basically having tough times, moving on from that, and essentially kind of having the balls to make a change, you know. And anybody in the world is going to relate to it, but you can tell there's a lot of passion there. I mean, the lyrics, was that a joint effort, or was that particularly from someone's own?
It's just all me, yeah.
The lyrics are all Adi. I think each of us are
Chorus melody though, that's a collaborative input.
Yeah, the melodies definitely input, but
yeah.
Lyrically all Adi.
Well, yeah, it's good. So, moving forwards, ambition. You said you didn't really have one, but obviously this is. I mean, look, you've got people noticing you, and you've literally made one song that we've heard. Okay, and it is really. I'll keep saying it, but it just sounds like a band that's existed for a long time. So, how much more music have you got coming? When are we going to hear it? Come on.
Right.
What's going forward? What we're looking forward to?
So there is a bit of a long-term provisional plan in place, which we're not going to fully announce because it's not concrete yet. But in terms of our short-term plan, we're going to be looking at just releasing singles over the steady next few months, maybe up towards the summer. Hoping to get a fair handful out, and then what comes after that, who knows?
The main plan is we're trying to think about how to become a new band in 2022 as logically as we possibly can, because it's all about, as you'll know, mindlessly scrolling through social media. If we keep releasing stuff and getting in your face and constantly on that feed, that's our plan, to slowly build a following online and digitally as much as we can.
Basically annoy the hell out of everybody.
Yeah, that's it. That's my plan. Is, you know, fully. But yeah, that's the main idea. Is we're constantly releasing something. We're going to be constantly in your ears, in your face. So that's what we're just forward.
Are you going to stick to the genre that you are currently doing, or is this an evolving thing? I mean, you know, I don't know. I mean, like you said, AD, you know, your previous band was a very different genre, other than the fact it was, you know, musicians.
I personally see this progressing because
I do.
Our favourite bands change on the monthly basis, and they're always something ever so slightly different. So why wouldn't we change with that? Who knows what we might do? Going a bit more poppy, like Bring Me the Horizon, for example, and then going tenfold back the other direction and going, you know what, back heavy again.
To give you a very finer example, the difference between Divide and our new track is obviously quite important for us to make sure that our sound is consistent across the two. But just in the time from releasing that to where we are now, going in the studio with single number 2, I feel that our sound has definitely grown and become far more concrete.
Yes.
So a lot of the process has been finding ourselves as a band as well.
Yeah, sure. I mean, as I say, it just doesn't sound like a band that's not even fully formed yet. It's bizarre how good it is. So, very briefly, because we touched on this earlier, no names or anything were mentioned. So, favourite bands, each of you, and guilty pleasure, because that tells you quite a lot.
Yes.
Oh, geez.
I can fire straight away with this.
You go first.
So, favourite band, Alter Bridge, without any shadow of a doubt. And you know what? Guilty pleasure's Wham.
Is it?
With that, yeah, I can't even deny it.
Oh man,
I don't know what to say either. But I do admire your honesty, AD.
Has to be Falling in Reverse up there. For like, there's so much inspirational. Like, his singing's just next level. Lyrics are great. The production and everything, you know. So yeah, Falling in Reverse are up there for me. I have quite a funky sort of hardcore background. My favourites, but at the minute, this is my favourite band after we've released Divide has to be Coldrain. Yes, like so good. It's like every chorus.
You're welcome.
Like, yeah, thanks. Yeah, Coldrain. Definitely worth checking out. I've not heard them, but yeah, I'll let Ben deal.
Whoa. Your pleasure, AD. Look, seriously,
I'm not gonna lie.
Admitted to WAP.
It's got to be Shania Twain or Dolly Parton. Absolutely love it. Not even gonna lie.
Okay, I think I can get the Dolly Parton bit. So Ben, come on then.
So favourite band has to be for me Trivium. I'm way more of a sort of metal loving guy.
Yeah.
Definitely into that side of things. Guilty pleasure, probably more of a sort of Kelly Clarkson, Avril Lavigne side of things.
Yeah.
I
Definitely.
can roll with that.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it, man. It's our generation, though, isn't it?
It
Like,
is,
yeah.
That's
It's like Shania Twain for me. It was like as a little kid, like all of a sudden she came on screen in that like leopard print thing, and I was like, "Oh, mummy, look!" That was a bit of a different story.
I get
I
it.
was about to say, I think that's something to do with nature, rather than music. But cool. So moving swiftly on from that. So we got your ambitions. We know from what you've just said, you're going to be releasing more material. Presumably you are going to put that into an album at some point, and obviously you're a rock band, so you're going to be live.
Yes.
Are you going to wait until you have enough material to do gigs, or are you going to do your songs and a few songs of your favourites and stuff by others? What's the plan?
Original band through and through. If we were to do a cover, I would say, hope you don't mind me taking this one, but it would be a tasteful cover with our own spin on it of something that's like with value of like our generation, like a Linkin Park song from back in the day, but with a modern twist or something of those sort of lines. But in terms of playing live, we need to build a following first, I would say.
Yep.
The main plan is like this goes hand in hand with our like provisional scheduled releases of stuff. Get to the point where, let's say, I don't know, we've got a handful of stuff released with some stuff in the back ready to go. But when we do our first show, we want it to be an event, a big one, with a big time band. And yeah, I think if
We're gearing up.
we carry on with the quality that we have, you know,
I mean,
we'll get there.
absolutely. Sure. If you can produce a good amount of music to the level of this first, of Divide, I think you ain't got too many worries. So, when is the new chap coming out? What's going on?
I'd say keep your eyes peeled for late March, early April.
I'll give you some dates. This will help you sort of piece things together. So we are, we're actually in one of our last sort of refinement sessions at the moment today, before we hit the studio on the 5th and 6th of March. So we're going in with the same guy who helped produce Divide. Owen, he's brilliant, out of this world, really easy to work with. Yeah. So
Stagworks Studios in Sheffield used to be owned by While She Sleeps, that specific studio, which is also
apparently
a large influence to our sound for sure, especially the more modern stuff. But, yeah, you were saying.
But our release schedule, we're well aware we've got to work with social media and things like that to gain a bit of a following, to get people hearing, the issues of playlisting and so on and so forth.
Mean to use up your valuable time when you're meant to be making music, talking to people like me. We've actually physically got to leave time after we've been in the studio to get that sorted. Once we have the track and start sending to places, so I would say it'd be a matter of weeks after we've been in the studio that the next track will drop.
An amazing point about us as well is we're completely independent. You see all that artwork, the logos. It's come from within this. It's like we all just sort of threw ideas at him, and he goes, okay, leave me alone. Locks the door, comes out 4 days later looking like Gollum. You know what I mean? But we've got all this. I'm playing with me.
What do you mean? I'm wired. Leave me alone.
But yeah, you know, it's all us. So you know, we've got to go in and get the song recorded, and then we've got to do everything else that comes with it. But the great thing about it is it doesn't feel like work because we love it.
Yeah.
So it's easy, isn't it? So
Yeah, I guess so. It's a good hobby to have, but if you're good at it, it's a better hobby to have, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, just to kind of wrap this up a little bit, you guys have known each other for a long, long time, one way or another. Could you just individually dish some dirt on one of the other people sat there, please? Because you can't sit there in a download jumper, be in a rock band, etc., and not have done some deeply embarrassing and quite amusing things.
well, I don't know if there's much you got on me, to be fair, but I know you've probably got something on him, and you've
Do you know
definitely
what?
got something on him.
Do you know what? I've got to paint the picture. Like, as far as things go, we're the sensible lot. Like, there's no real.
As you can tell, they don't know me that well.
No, he is. The problem is, like, I say we're a group of friends. So there's the four of us primarily, including Sean, Ginge, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
But you know, he loved to listen to it, and he was our friend. We'll name drop him. He's called Michael.
Oh, no.
Sick dude. But he just used to do so much embarrassing stuff that
Yeah.
we never had to.
Yeah.
He was always the butt of the jokes. So
Guy.
we have a laugh. It's always actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. It's usually like, oh well, at least it's better than fucking Michael Moynihan. You know what I mean? So I mean, what about Ginge wanting to fight that statue? That's got to be.
Oh yeah, we've got videos of Ginge trying to fight a statue.
We could probably provide you with that.
Yeah, he's
Um,
he's done all sorts of weird things.
Yeah,
We're not that bad. We're
telling you to fuck off.
just that on a daily
Like,
basis, mate.
come on, come
Hang on.
and get a taxi, mate. You
Hang on,
can
I've got a
fuck off.
message from him. Fuck off.
But yeah.
So, right, what I'm going to ask you now is quite simple. You're going to obviously come to us with your new tune, yeah? When it comes out, your new track, we want to hear it. We want to have it on here. I want to hear it anyway, straight away. And, you know, as things progress, you're going to keep in touch. We'll talk further. You'll have more stories because you will have misbehaved more and celebrated your successes. And if not, I'm just personally will come out and make you misbehave.
I'll tell you, the night of the studio weekend, we are in Sheffield, so
Oh, dear, yeah.
yeah, we're having a good time. And we're going to the Angel. I don't care.
Let's go.
I think I'll love you and leave you there, guys. Genuinely a pleasure, particularly you know, meeting, well, not AD.
Well, I mean, that's fair.
But Liam and Ben, an absolute pleasure, and I'm sure Sean's lovely as well. And joking apart,
I'm joking. I'm playing.
so yeah, I mean, just keep us in the loop, and good luck, you guys. Really do mean that.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for having
Thank
us.
you.
It's
Right,
great.
you absolutely rock. Seriously. Okay, so this has been JB on rocknews.co.uk with the amazing Close Ties. Any last words? Not in a denying way.
Get your eyes peeled
Yeah,
in
man.
March, April, basically.
It's going to be massive. It's going to be heavier. It's going to be catchier, like crazily catchy. So, yeah, it's going to be sick, honestly. So, happy days.
Genuinely looking forward to it. Really nice chatting to you guys.
Yes, you
Yeah.
too. Nice to see you, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, AD, we'll catch up separately anyway, I'm sure. And
Definitely.
he'll say all the horrible things about you two. But anyway,
Yeah.
see you later.
Bye bye.
So,
Take care, guys.